American Ninja Warrior is an international sports entertainment show on the rise. Warrior Sports, a gym in South Springfield, allows for anyone with a dedication a chance to win the $1 million cash prize. Warrior Sports is nothing new to HTV, but as local businessman John Taylor explains, one call can change everything.
I was in a sales appointment with work, and I almost didn't even take the call. Actually, I almost didn't even call back the voicemail because it was from California. I was just going to disregard it to that night. Called it back, and it's like, hey, this is Rod from the show. I think I'm going to need you to call me. I got some exciting news.
Exciting news it was as John learned he was going to be on this year's edition of the show. But the journey couldn't begin without support from the ones that mattered the most.
Watching the show with the girls, and they're like, Daddy, I think you can do a lot of this stuff. And so a buddy of mine, we're in the Optimist Club together, Sean Saunders, we kind of talked, and we're like, I think we need to go up there and at least give it a shot. So we came up here, and just one thing led to another. 2 years later, we're both getting on the show.
Getting on the show comes with a price. John has trained countless hours to make sure he has what it takes for this style of workout.
This is a lot more explosive, a lot different, so there was definitely a transition between that style of workout and this. But I think the P90X cross-training style of workout really prepared me well for the obstacle training.
He may have been prepared for the training, but the injuries were a surprise.
Well, we all deal with what we refer to as ninjuries. It's pretty common. You know, tearing up the hands is pretty common, and stuff like that. A little minor stuff in some of the competitions, but nothing major.
Injuries aside, trainer Josh Cook tells us that John's weight may be an obstacle of itself.
John's a bigger guy, so most people his size, honestly, come in here once and leave.
Leaving was never an option for John, as the will to fight comes from someone he can't live without.
Isabella was born 9 weeks premature after my wife Hillary had an abruption at work. She was without oxygen for about 5 to 10 minutes, and they had to resuscitate her. Only actually one of the doctors actually wanted to resuscitate her because they felt like she wouldn't have a quality of life.
Isabella was born with hydrocephalus, a condition in which fluid builds up in the brain, enlarging the head and sometimes causing brain damage. This led to a series of surgeries and physical care. So
they went in and put a shunt, and if you see on this side of her neck, you can kind of see it. It goes down and goes into her abdomen, and it drains her spinal fluid. So as a little girl, she had tons of physical therapy. She had tons of occupational and speech therapy, and she still actively has occupational and speech therapy. But through training with me, coming up here, training at home, doing all the stuff that I do, she's 100% off of physical therapy and caught up with the kids her age.
Isabella had to fight just to catch up. So now it's up to John to show the rest of the world what fighting can do.
We're progressing rapidly on her skills, but I really felt that her story is something we could show to the world, and I guess they'd agree.
John will make his debut on May 13th, but he won't be alone. His family will be right by his side. That watching Dad up here competing and fighting, do you think that's helping you a lot? Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Good. That's what I like to hear. For HTV Magazine, I'm Josh Horned reporting.